This tutorial is from textbook eSkills Computer Science. The page numbers are 122 to 125. The chapter is Module 3 Working with Numbers and the topic under discussion, that is Task 3 Simple Calculations. The resources required are the textbook and a laptop or a PC. In this tutorial, we will be learning about what a function is in Microsoft Excel, what different types of functions are available such as sum, average, etc. But before that, I would like to share the quote of the day with you. Curiosity is the essence of our existence. Eugene Seaman. Now let's recall the previous knowledge from our previous classes. A function is a predefined formula that performs calculations using specific values in a particular order. Excel includes many common functions that can be used to quickly find the sum, average, count, maximum value, and minimum value for a range of cells. Now let's see what are the objectives of our today's tutorial. Students, you will be able to know or understand about function and its structure, function of autofill tool, and common functions in Excel. Now let's look at some fundamental terms. Number one, the autofill tool. It helps you to quickly enter a series of data. Function is a predefined formula to quickly do some action. Sum gives you the total range of cells. Average gives you the average number of a range of cells. Now let's look at the function and its parts. A function is an expression that calculates the value of a cell. They are predefined formulas and are already available in Excel. In order to work correctly, a function must be written in a particular way, known as syntax. Let's try to understand it with the help of an example. Now let's take an example. The basic syntax for a function is the equal sign, the function name, sum for example, and one or more arguments. Now the question arises, what are arguments? Arguments contain the information you want to calculate. The function in the example below would add the values of the cell range A1 to A20. That means the syntax for writing a sum is what? That you need to start it with an equal to sign, the name of the function, and argument in parentheses. Now let's talk about the autofill tool. If you want to find the sum for another set of data, for example, the rest of the prices, you don't have to repeat the same process. There's a quicker way to calculate the sum for multiple sets of data and it's called autofill. Let's see how to use the autofill tool in Excel.
If you think there might be an easier, automated way to do this, you'd be right. Type the first date in the series. Put the mouse pointer over the bottom right-hand corner of the cell until it's a black plus sign. Click and hold the left mouse button and drag the plus sign over the cells you want to fill. And voila! The series is filled in for you automatically using the autofill feature. Or say you have information in Excel that isn't formatted the way you need it to be, such as this list of names. And going through the entire list manually to correct them is daunting. You'd think there'd be an easier, automated way to do this too. And you'd be right again. Type the first name the way you want it. start to type the next name, and, as if by magic, Excel provides a preview of the names formatted the way you want. Press Enter, and the names are filled in for you using the Flash Fill feature that's new in Excel 2013. Autofill and Flash Fill are tremendous time savers, and they can do much more than we've covered in this introduction.
Now let's see what common functions are available in Microsoft Excel. There are a variety of functions available in Excel. Here are some of the most common functions you'll learn about: sum, average, max, and min. Let's discuss them one by one. Now let's talk about the sum function. The sum function adds values. You can add individual values, cell references, or ranges, or a mix of all three. For example, is equal to sum, and in the parentheses we have the argument A2 up till A10. And what will this function do? It will add the values in the cells starting from the cell address A2 up till A10. Next function that we have is the average function. The average function gives the average number of a range of cells. One important thing to note is that this function will only work for numerical data. Numerical data, that means the data that is in the form of numbers. This function cannot be applied to alphabetical data that is in the form of alphabets. Let's see how this function is used in Excel.
Click the cell to the right of a row or below a column. Then, on the Home tab, click the Auto Sum Down arrow, click Average, verify the formula is what you want, and press Enter. When I double-click inside the cell, I see it's a formula with the average function. The formula is average A2 colon A5, which averages the cells from A2 through A5. When averaging a few cells, the average function saves you time. With larger ranges of cells, it's essential. If I try to use the AutoSum Average option here, it only uses cell C5, not the entire column. Why? Because C4 is blank. If C4 contained a number, C2 through C5 would be an adjacent range of cells that AutoSum would recognize. To average values in cells and ranges of cells that aren't adjacent, type an equal sign. A formula always starts with an equal sign. Average. Open parenthesis. Hold down the Control key. Click the desired cells and ranges of cells, and press Enter. The formula uses the average function to average the cells containing numbers and ignores the empty cells or those containing text.
Next we have two more important functions, max and min functions. The max and min functions gives the largest and the smallest value of the given values. This function will only work for numerical values. Next, let's try to look at how you are going to implement max and min function in Excel.
MS Excel provides us users an easy way to compare values in our problem statement. We can determine the maximum value and the minimum value present in the Excel sheet. For this, we have predefined formulas in Excel that enable this function. Let's look at max functions first. The syntax for defining the max function is max, parentheses, value, close parentheses. As we've already learned previously, the cells are referred to by their cell name. That's either done by cell reference method or point and click method. Let's start with an easy example. Suppose there's two kids, A and B, who both had their own share of apples. Let's say A has 10 apples and B has 7 apples. If we had to determine who had more apples, we could simply use the maximum function. To write this function, just click on the cell where the desired output is to be displayed and write the function as follows. Define the max keyword, then open the round bracket, type in the two cell values B2, B3, and then close the round bracket. It's simply as max, parentheses, B2, B3, close parentheses. Now, for minimum functions, let's consider the following example. Let's say A, B, and C are three kids who have some set of flowers with them. A has 3 roses, B has 7 roses, and C has 1 rose. Now, to determine who has the least number of roses, we use the minimum function. The function for this example is defined as follows. Define the min keyword, then open the round bracket, type in the 3 cell values, B2, B3, and B4, and then close the round bracket. It's simply min B2, B3, B4.
Alright, now let's look at what important points you need to remember to. Number 1. Apply the correct formula as per the requirement. Number 2. Check the formula range before applying it. Now let's recap the lesson. Autofill tool is a tool that is used to automate the series of data. Next we learned the sum function. Sum function is used to get the total of given values. Average function is used to give the average of the given values. And in the last we saw max and min functions. They are used to give the largest and the smallest values respectively. Time for some moral values. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Thank you for your time.